Stephen, I cannot hear any in the background. Are you there, Stephen? Yeah, I don't hear any in the background. Right. I don't hear it. I heard that. We need to probably start over. I don't hear it, Stephen.
All right, let's try that now. Did you hear that, Dennis?
I can hear that, but we need to start over.
All right, let's try it. But you can hear it this time, though, right on the screen share.
Yeah.
Okay.
In 1980, Ronald Reagan wore a white suit, a red tie, and a white shirt and addressed the nation. Hi, I am Dennis Andrew Ball, and I am running for President of the United States. I am talking to you right now because the debates that were conducted this week need to have a presidential response. The economic issues that both Barack Obama and Mitt Romney answered created in the minds of many of us unanswered questions of how do you sustain economic growth in the United States of America. In light of the decisions and the events that have happened since 2008, what do we need to do to reduce the deficit, increase job creation, maintain Social Security and Medicare, and provide the opportunity for our children and future generations not only to survive, but to thrive in a global economy. I would like to talk to you quickly on how I perceive what needs to happen. The United States of America at this time is suffering because the means of production have not equaled the ends of production that it requires in order to sustain its middle class. The United States of America must reindustrialize itself to make it possible that 23 million Americans can go back to work in industries that are productive for themselves and their families. What we are witnessing on a daily basis is the demise of the American family, the traditional American family of children, parents, and grandparents, by people in authority who have used, abused, and misused their positions to hurt our people. This must stop, and it will under my administration. The need at this moment of time is to get our organs of power in business to invest in research and development to make it possible for industry to not only survive in America, but also to thrive. My attitude is that the production capability of the United States is equal to none. Our workers are very productive if given the opportunity, but they must be protected by government that concerns themselves with their best interests. And that has been a problem for many years in this country. My attitude also is that in order for our people to get themselves in a position to care for themselves and their children, we have to evaluate at this moment in time what is important for that to happen. And I believe that it will be more of a decision on the part of the American people when they go to the voting booth to decide who they think is best qualified to do that job. I believe also that we are in a position to make decisions that will impact the course of history and to bring about positive change in the lives of our family structure. I want to say that in order to do that, the means of production will have to be a top priority to reindustrialize the middle class and to provide the support for the future generations. I want to say this, that in terms of how we go about this business, the President of the United States should be very aware of what has happened and what needs to happen. My interest at this time is to educate through my administration of candidacy for presidency to make it possible for you to learn more about me and to decide if you are better off since the election of Barack Obama and the changes that need to happen in terms of the increase in gas prices, in food prices, the mortgage forfeitures that have happened since him, and also what we will do in the future to make it possible for more people to be employed out of 23 million who are not. Consider this opportunity to communicate to your friends and your neighbors my thoughts, and I look forward to hearing from you. I need presidential electors who will vote for me through the Electoral College when I win the states in this country to become your next president. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
All right, Stephen.
Go ahead and do.
I am here in Orlando, Florida, and I wanted to say that there are many things that have continued to unfold in my midst as I continue the quest of the White House and making it possible for our nation to recover from all of the abuse that has continued to be the problem that we all face. Are you able to come online here? I don't see your face.
Yeah, I'm switching over the camera from OBS because it was freezing up. There we go.
Okay, very good. Now, as it relates to today's show, I had 3 guests lined up. I'm not sure any one of them is going to show up. So that's a problem, possibly. I'm not sure. But if we don't have the guests, the different parties that were scheduled, Cherie Saunders, Tabitha Fenn, and possibly Faith Daron again, because Faith and I talked today about their situation in terms of the healthcare issues, because her husband has serious health issues going on that require money in order to satisfy, even with health insurance through Medicare, which I think has caused a lot of problems for many people who are struggling and suffering under the healthcare system as we've known it today. Myself, I am convinced that healthcare has been driven by money and opportunity through the insurance industry, the accountants who work for them, and the lack of support coming from the medical doctors, because their hands are tied what they can and cannot do when they're confronted with a medical problem. That changes with my book called Ball Care, Healthcare That People Can Support. If you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And that's important because the healthcare business would change radically. The government would be the payer. The doctors are in control. If you need a procedure at 80 and 90 years old, you're going to get it. It's not going to be a question of money. And it will be an opportunity for people's lives to be extended if that's what they wish, and to spend time with their grandchildren and proceed according to what they perceive life should be like. We used to have a system of government that honored life rather than death. And you can see what this is, how this has been going on for some time. And for that, you know, we have a real problem in the society we're living in now. My hope is that as people age, more people will become aware that there are solutions to these problems outside of total giveaways of our government to forces that wish to use, abuse, and misuse us as pawns in the pond, and proceed on that basis of making our lives better rather than worse. And for that, I'm very aware of all of this, and will continue down that path. I highly recommend people get a hold of Ball Care, healthcare that people can support. It is on Amazon.com. And as we proceed here this afternoon, I'm inside because it's so hot outside. I needed to do this show inside, and this seems to be the right place to do it this afternoon. And hopefully we'll all benefit from it. So as to the guests that we were hoping to get on the show, has anybody come on?
Not as of yet, but we're only 18 minutes into the show, so I sent the links to both.
Okay, very good. All right. So regardless of whoever shows up or doesn't show up, we will proceed here. It might be not as long a show, but I am in the Campaign for America modem here, and spending time here until September 3rd, Labor Day weekend, when I intend to travel to St. Petersburg, Florida, to meet people who want to speak to me and find out more. In the meantime, I'm very busy with these rallies here in Orlando and elsewhere, and we'll be making a reservation to New York for the United Nations, and proceed accordingly. Let me say this. I had a very long discussion today with my associate and friend, Brian Goudier. He is in Missouri. Brian has gone through a lot of trauma with his daughter, something similar to what Dottie has experienced in St. Louis. It seems like Missouri as a state wants to ambush and kidnap people out of their families, even though they talk a big talk about family life. I don't see a lot of support for it. And this is coming from the government. The folks there in Jefferson City, to me, need to prove a whole lot better what they are doing. As I see this Governor Parsons has done very little to promote family unity and to defund any kind of federal programs that steal kids from parents. For that, I'm very concerned about how this is perceived in the society and our future as it relates to the government and the people. As you know, Stephen, my attitude is that we are in trouble because there are forces working against all of us, including the business people. If the business people do not fund candidates that will fight for them, I'm afraid their businesses will go away and their money will too. This is a problem that other countries have encountered, such as Cuba, Venezuela, the Soviet Union, of course, and many other socialist communist nations, North Korea, China, using a Marxist attitude toward society that wishes to destroy the family unit and be controlled within their image. God created the family, not communism. So for that, I am blessed to be able to differentiate and point out the differences. As I've said before, I am not a politician. If anything, I would consider I'm an author and a scholar, and I do my research and I do my work, and I do communicate with a lot of different people and institutions in order to get the facts. Also with the courts as well, because I am a court official, and I am busy dealing with all of that which occurred in my own life prior to my father's death and after his death, to see that justice is served on those who have used, abused, and misused my own family, myself, my mother, and others to our detriment. And as a consequence, my book, Tyranny from the Bench, Fighting and Surviving America's Judicial Nightmare, is very popular, and it is very well set and is being sold rapidly because of what the content of the books shows, that people can fight back through lien filings as well as IRS filings on those who fail to file final tax returns on people's estates, as well as declaring ill-gotten gains and income that they have hidden from the government, as well as seriously causing themselves pain by failure to file their own income taxes and having the correct information on them. So I'm sure you have some similarities and familiarities with others in your own sphere of influence who may or may not have conducted their financial affairs with the government, as well as proceeding to get themselves in a bottleneck because of the rules that are here. I did not create them, nor did you, but we are tasked to live by them. And every year I have to file my taxes as well. And why should they not have to? And so as a court official, I am holding them accountable. And that's what needs to happen here. Praise God.
Speaking of accountability, you're right. And when we need accountability, when we have a group of individuals that are supposed to be in positions of power and have no conflicts of interest, and they're committing criminal acts, and there's no accountability, yet they want to make damn sure that the regular, average, everyday citizen is held accountable for their actions. Well, that's a double standard, folks. That is not the law and order or justice. That is everything. It goes against everything this country was founded on, folks. We need accountability, especially for those in positions of power.
Absolutely. And if you would have been a fly on the wall today, you would have heard me speaking to Brian Agoudier. He is a former law enforcement officer, and he has truly been through the mud with his former wife. I wouldn't even consider her a wife. She was a girlfriend that they had a child together, a love child. But the daughter is his prized possession and wants to see her best interests are served. He also has been put in a position where they have shared custody, yet he is put in a position, he has had child support issues that cause him stress because his ex produces attitudes and documents through her lawyer that wants to continue to milk him dry of his financial worth. The man works a graveyard shift and another job just to survive. And it's just an amazing thing that he's able to keep up with all of that and go to court and deal with all of the players. But he's a smart guy. I met him in Washington, D.C. for the Family Forward movement. And as a consequence, Brian and I have connected, and that was a good thing. Also, there's another group called Moms for Liberty in Melbourne, Florida, not far from where I'm here in Orlando, that is busy with the school boards. And the school boards, as we both know, has produced very poor results from LGBTQ, the trans people, and all of that, which has caused a lot of parents, particularly moms, a lot of alarm and stress because, and anxiety for that matter, because of what is being taught to their own children that they don't approve of. And so many moms are pulling their kids out of school. And these are public schools that have gone rogue and forgotten what it means to be an American and to educate rather than indoctrinate our children. And as President of the United States, I want you to know, people, that you're looking at someone who's going to make a huge correction in the system that needs to be done, regardless of the consequences. To me personally, because the problems have been lingering here for over 70 years. And as a consequence, this is where we are as a culture and a society. What say you, Stephen?
I agree. I mean, this is kind of systemic of how we got here. I mean, it's the apathy that has to end, folks. It's the oh, I'll go along to get along. That has to end, because look at where it's gotten us. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And we're living in those times and seeing the end results of that, folks.
It is. And, it has to stop. And I can tell you right now, my energy is very focused on what needs to get done and get done now. And whether people wish to follow me or not, that's their choice. I know what I have to do, and I'm doing it. But like I've told the billionaires and the millionaires, that if you want to maintain your property, your liquidity, and your funding, you better be busy funding candidates who will fight for you, because you may find yourself on the out when they move in to take what you have earned and built. Barack Obama said at one time to a conference of business people that they did not build their business. Now that sounds very strange, doesn't it? They did not build their business. Like he was talking about the government had actually caused the business to appear. Come on. That's just outrageous conduct on the part of Obama and any public official who would communicate like that. Business is it's hard work, and there's payrolls to meet, and there's product to serve. What happened in California this week at Nordstrom's in California, I guarantee you the shareholders and the managers of Nordstrom's is considering probably pulling out of where they are, because they are not going to put up with these kinds of losses, even though they might be insured. The insurance companies will not put up with this, and they'll cancel them out. In other words, they will cancel their policies for future protection, because they will not allow themselves to be abused like that financially through people who come in and take their goods. This is a common problem now. It's systemic. So the people have got to get engaged in the process of changing this society back to the we, us, and our, from the me, my, and mine narcissism that has continued on as a way of life ever since I was born. And I'll be 72 years old this month. My birthday is on August 27th. So as a result, we have real skin in the game here that needs to be addressed and acted upon. The AOA right now is in 10 states. The majority of the states have campaign managers. We are looking for more, and we will not stop until we achieve that. Now, I see you have a live call in line, 702-482-8620. If there's anybody out there who would like to ask me some questions on the campaign, please feel free to call. I would like to hear your voice and give you an honest response to whatever it is that you want to talk about. The last time I talked to somebody on the radio, I asked the question, despite Trump and DeSantis duking it out for the Republican nomination, is it possible that a third-party candidate could rise to become the president of the United States? And the response I received was, yes, they can. And it's like, because of all the bad behavior, the negative responses that people have gotten when they ask legitimate questions, and their income and the cost of living has just shot up so great that the COLA factor now enters into the campaign. Can you sustain yourself on what you're currently able to generate income? Or is it beyond your reach at the moment to think in terms of what you would require in order that you would feel more comfortable in your daily lives? I mean, for me, I have no family, no woman. I am myself. Fortunately for me, I'm smart enough and have worked hard enough to know how to use money as a positive experience, including credit. That's why I have been able to survive and thrive all this time. since I created this party in 1995. As the chairman of the American Party of America, the American National Committee, we are the Americans. We are family first. We are the white states, and white is in that flag. The flag represents integrity, veracity, honesty, freedom, family, and faith. And remember that, people, because we all are in this together. And if we want to have a good society, we must be in it together. Extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice, said Barry Goldwater, 1964. What that means is we are busy as a society defending our freedom and our faith for our children and generations to come. And if we fail to do that, our children will suffer tremendously at the hands of unscrupulous people whose interest is not to use good behavior, but to use evil as a means to their ends, which is power and control. Adolf Hitler did this from 1920 to 1940, prior to World War II, and the bankers funded him. The Rothschilds, the Bilderbergs, I also believe the Gettys and the Rockefellers. They made money off of war. And if we are not careful, that could happen again. So as it relates to the future, my hope is that we will have a better experience through the AOA, producing candidates that will use the means and the tools to win elections and to change the society from within. And for that, I'm blessed. What say you, Stephen?
I agree. I think we need to be changing our communities from within. I'm going to quote a really good quote I think is really, really relevant. Create your own community. Be the change you want to see in the world, folks.
I'm going to have to pause this for a minute. We've got a technical problem.
Okay. Are you able to hear me? All right, folks. While he's fixing that, go ahead and try and call in on our call-in line at 702-482-8620 if you have any questions. We'd love to hear from you. Can you hear me okay, Dennis?
Oh,
Sorry, I just clicked ask to unmute and you accidentally muted yourself. Click it one more time. Sorry.
okay. Are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I hope you have the program on stay. Because I'm here at this McDonald's, and what can go bad does go bad here in Florida, and it interrupted this show here today. I'd like to know if you have the program on stay. Is it stayed or is it still going?
Hold on, let me stop it real quick.
Yeah, this.
All right.
You're going to have to edit this out.
I will edit it out. I'm gonna
And I don't appreciate what I've encountered here at this store, but this is not uncommon here in Florida with shit like this that happens to me.
okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna hold on, folks. I'm just gonna stop the live real quick and then